Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're at. This is Ken Hunter, tech support at Cybra. Probably spoke to a bunch of you before. Glad you're able to join us today. Hopefully you can see my screen okay. I've got one of the VAI formats open, an invoice form that I've modified a little bit with some of the new features in version 10. Chuck mentioned a few of them, so I'll go through some that you may even see right now on the screen, including the rounded box. So there's a great example of it right there. It's basically when you create a box, now there's an option, pull-down menu for being able to choose the rounded corner right there. So you simply drag and drop the box, rounded corner, and off you go. So this one I left at 90 there, but could easily change that one. But yeah, you can see that, and adds a little bit of spice to your format now. Down here, Kate was going crazy trying to type more than 30 characters, and you got stuck. So right here, there's a few text fields at the bottom for terms and conditions. I typed these up this morning. I added these on. You could very easily make a whole new format if you wanted to, and type thousands of words all the way across using these new 350 length text fields. So these are all individual text fields, and you could have easily used our text block feature that we added back in version 7, I believe. And the new 350 character limit also goes into the text block, so you can type just whole paragraphs. But for this, I just wanted to show that these are all just individual heading text fields. You can see that I've typed. It's not like there's groups of them all bunched up next to each other. Hopefully it all looks good spacing wise. So yeah, 350 text fields, very, very cool. So those are the two of the things that you can probably see right off the bat, new in version 10. The other thing that Chuck mentioned, the SQL. So what we have here on this form is, obviously it's a very, familiar to you, being able to pull data from a spool file, all this information coming from the spool file, including a customer number that'll be up here. I'll do a print preview in a little bit for you, and you'll see the information that comes up there. But we've actually got a connection, SQL connection on this format. So every single format that you design in MarkMagic can have their own individual SQL fields set up. You can have one format grabbing data from a few different databases spread amongst different areas in your environment. This one I've got just one simple lookup. This format, this company wanted to add some special promotions for their customers, some loyalty discounts. And that information is in a database file on their AS400, and the information isn't in the spool file. So what we're doing here is we're able to take information that is in the spool file, the customer ID, and take that and go out to R60mm mods file, or library, excuse me. There's a file in there, DSC file, and it's the discount file that you may have. And we're able to pull out data that's in there, field called years, a field called decode, discount code. So every customer would have their own unique discount code in that file, for example. This is just an example that I generated. I'm going to make the screen a little bit bigger for you so you can see the whole select statement. So this GUI here, it could be accessible to just simple users who may not know SQL, like Chuck says. He's not a pro. I'm not a pro.
Like me. Yeah.
And there's a simple GUI here to be able to set up your retrievals. You basically just you browse whatever database you're connected up to, where we allow you to find the files, pick the fields that you want to pull from the schemas and all that good stuff, from the tables. Excuse me. And then you set up a little where clause. Anyone familiar with SQL will you basically say, hey, where this field is question mark, and that question mark ends up being fields from the MarkMagic format itself. So on the left here, we have our compare fields, and we're basically just saying which field do we want to use as that, in the where clause. So customer number. So we basically create a list here, and it's just the one for this simple lookup. So we're saying go out to that file where customer is customer from the form, from the spool file. And the information on the right side here are data fields they're on the format. These data fields have been created just like regular data fields up here, like you normally would, but they're not pointing to a spool file or anything. They're just plain old data fields that you would add. And we're basically telling this SQL statement to put the information that's retrieved into those data fields. So the select years goes into years. It's the field on the format. Select decode from the database, put it into discount data field on the MarkMagic format, and off you go. So that's set up. When you do a print preview, I'll show you that in a moment. You'll see some information show up here. The discount code, number of years that you've been a customer. I don't want to do a preview just yet because there's something else I want to talk about, which is the monitor, the graphic monitor. So Chuck mentioned that there's PDF files that you could get from carriers, from wherever. We've got a PDF here on my desktop, FedEx label, or sorry, USPS label. I just saw the PDF 417 barcode and assumed FedEx. So USPS label that you got, PDF. How do you get that on your format? Now MarkMagic can actually monitor the IFS. So I've basically got this is a folder on my IFS. It's /home/Cybra/images. I've just got it mapped in my Windows, so that's why it looks like this. If you had your System I Navigator, you'd see the whole GUI that you're used to, this System I Navigator. This is simply just a folder on my IFS. If we were to just drop this PDF into this folder, MarkMagic is now converting the image on the server. It's converting it and it's adding it to my graphics gallery. If I jump back to my JMagic now, the graphic, it's converted, it's up there now. If I were to do a print preview, so now we can fill in the spool file information here. So if we have a spool file on hold out there, this is one of the spool files that S2K would generate, put out there, and they would call MarkMagic to print normally. Now you can do the live print preview. Let's check it out. So we've got page 1. This is a 2-page invoice. Full details section here. You see the SQL worked. It pulled in the 12, pulled in the discount code for the customer from the database file via SQL. Shipping label, it's going to be on the last page. So if we were to go next, there's that shipping label I showed you. So it was uploaded, converted. And I don't know if you guys noticed some other neat stuff that was going on. Down here at the bottom, let's go back a page. The formatting changed. So totals were blank. No need to have all that stuff down there at the bottom. So we've got conditions using our print transformer. A lot of you guys have that, and you realize how powerful it is. I wanted to add some extra flair to this format this morning, so right before the meeting, I added some conditions to clean this up down here at the bottom. So, page 1, page 2, and you've got your totals showing up. And then I've also added conditions to some of these text fields over here to turn this off when there's a shipping label. So very cool stuff. And then for that strike-through, no one likes tax. Let's say you wanted to add a strike-through. I'll just show you where that is in the GUI. So if we want to just disable tax, we're cutting taxes.
Yeah, get rid of
Go into the text field, font tab, strike-through. It's right there, check mark. And then you can set the offset. You can make it, figure out the height to make so it's halfway up there. Change the colors, what have you. Red, blue. So we'll do red, and then hit OK, and look at that strike-through. So very cool stuff. Yeah, I can't wait to see what you guys do with this stuff. And once you get your hands on it, you know who to call.